All right. Good day, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Truly Live, episode 11. We'll be right back.
Lord, there's so many things that I want to thank you for. Lord, I thank you for your grace. I thank you for your mercy, God. I thank you for your love. Thank you for favor, oh God. God, if I had 10,000 tongues, I couldn't say enough thank yous, and I couldn't praise you enough. So in this song, I'll simply tell you I love you. And God, I thank you for everything you've done. Lord, there's so many things that you've done for me. Blessings unconditional, they seem to overtake me. Your hand of mercy proving faithful and true. Jesus, how can I express my thanks to you for your grace and kindness? Oh, agent of days, I'll give you thanks, oh Lord, now and always. Oh, I just want to say thank you for your love. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Thanks to you for all of the times that you brought me through. Lord, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your grace. Thank you, Lord, for keeping me safe. Thanks to you that I can share the good news of a Savior, to give someone a reason just to tell you thanks. Oh Lord, yeah. Thank you, Lord. Lord, it's not enough to give a simple praise to the one who has blessed me in so many ways. Nothing I could say or do could really show my gratitude to you, Lord. One God, one love, one faith. To you I give you praise. Three blessed Trinity, you mean so much to me. You showered me with love, even when I turned away. Lord, I could never repay you, so I'll just say I just want to say thank you for your love. Thank you for the blood. Thanks to you for all of the times that you brought me through. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your grace. Thank you, Lord, for keeping me safe. Thanks to you that I can share the good news of a Savior, to give someone a reason just to tell you for your love. Lord, I thank you for the blood. Thanks to you for all of the time that you brought me through. Lord, I thank you for your grace. Lord, for keeping me safe. And I can share the good news of a Savior, to give someone a reason just to tell you thanks. Oh,
All right. And good afternoon, good evening, or good day, everyone. And welcome to tonight's episode of Truly Live with your co hosts and co founders, Oliver and Yolanda. She wants me to speak for her tonight. So that's the vibe we're in tonight. I'm going to speak for her.
No.
All right. Okay. Let me turn her on here. Hang on. I forgot to turn her on. There she go.
Hello.
All right. And this is your weekly talk program where we share transformational principles and a whole lot of love. And we're so excited that you have joined us tonight. And I have given Yolanda her comments. And so she's going to start interacting with everyone.
Thank you, sir.
And we're so excited about tonight's episode. We're so excited about just being here. So excited about just life itself. All right, you on.
Okay, I'm on. Hello, everyone. I see that we have some of our patrons in, so I'm going to say hello to Bob and Carol. Great to have you guys back with us this weekend. We missed seeing you last week as well, so we're glad you're back. And Virginia is on. So hello,
Well,
another
hello,
patron.
Virginia. All right.
So Canada is in the house.
Canada is in the house. Our new patron, Virginia, is in the house. And we send you greetings from North Carolina, Virginia, and to your lovely daughter, Brenda. And so tonight is going to be uh, it's going to be a good night. We're going to kind of speed up things tonight because we want to give more time to our content tonight, our life lesson. This is kind of the meat of this series that we're doing on mindfulness.
Yes.
And so we may kind of do a little program bypassing tonight, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
All right.
Oh, I think everyone should know who we are.
Absolutely. Well, if you're here for the first time, we welcome you. Thank you. You
Welcome.
landed in the right space, a good place. And we are Yolanda and Oliver, and we are known by the OK Blues
We're known
as the OK Blues.
Yes.
And we just happen to be two fun-loving, dance-loving, married individuals that are friends. We've been roommates for 32 years. Uh, we have been on the high, and we passed through the low on our way back up to the high. And so we say hi to you. And, and we are honored that you are here with us tonight. And we just like to share with you and honor you by sharing with you these brilliant relationships and close relationships that we have with some phenomenal people.
We have phenomenal friends.
And you are a part of those phenomenal people. If you've never been told, you are phenomenal. Or like the young people say, they are what? Phenom.
Okay.
Phenomenal. And we are certified coaches. Yolanda and I also, we are conference speakers. We are transformational teachers. And we also share or teach advanced spirituality. And we are the co-founders of Truly OB, which is a personal development company that was birthed back in 2017. And our core mission is to share universal principles, timeless content, transformational practices, and community access with a global community. And we are committed to experiencing, along with you and everyone else, a deeper life and a more meaningful life. And we have a strong desire for personal growth and getting different results in our own life. And so we share that on this platform. And we also share decades. I mean, decades, 3 decades plus of our own experience from our journey of transformation together. And so, with that, again, I think the most outstanding thing about us is that we love each other. We love all humanity.
That is outstanding.
We love, yeah, that's a miracle, right?
No, it's not a
Oh,
miracle. It's
okay.
just it is
It's
outstanding.
outstanding. And that we have leaned into joy and laughter. It does good like a medicine to
Okay.
get us through some of our challenging times. And so that's who we are in a small addition.
I never know what he's going to say. How about I tell them about our why? We want others to know that their life has deep meaning and good purpose. And we help people to consider and pursue the results that matter to them so that they can live a focused life with purposed intention. Our passion is to help those who remain outside, unknowing, unawakened, and in need of a witness to the truth that is true always. We love sharing a powerful message with a powerful people, and you are those powerful people.
You are indeed a very powerful entity.
Another patron has joined us. Hello, Naomi. So glad that you're here with us.
Well, hello, Naomi. Yolanda and I send you much love.
Much love
Yes.
to all of you.
Yes. And so, just to acknowledge again our patrons who we love dearly, who are partners with us, we're happy and grateful for your commitment to growth and staying on your growing edge. And also like to acknowledge those who have celebrated birthdays and or anniversaries over the past week or
Okay.
this week.
Yes,
And I think you might want to give a special shout out, don't you?
I do. So, my best friend and her husband,
Which
which
is
is
my brother.
your brother, and my sister-in-law shared. They shared their 42nd wedding anniversary this week. So happy anniversary to you guys!
And celebrated it big time.
And celebrated it big time.
We're so happy for them. So happy. They have been a rock in our family,
Yes,
and they continue to be uh, an inspiration to not only our generation but our family members that are coming up behind us.
they are beautiful people.
Beautiful people. Yes. So happy anniversary, Sheila and Cecil.
Happy anniversary.
And also like to acknowledge, but not in a lesser fashion, we like to acknowledge, always like to acknowledge our parents, my mother, Catherine and Yolanda Diaz Dewey, who we call Papa, and because it was their input, their cooperation.
Well, you moved on before we actually got to do all of the birthdays that we really wanted to.
Oh, if you
send
got
shout
some
outs.
more, just bring them up.
Some more. Okay.
More, or you want me to go ahead and
So,
finish
no,
with
no,
Papa?
no. So I have. Okay, we'll go ahead and finish with Papa.
And so we're so excited to have our parents with us. And as you know, my mother is a patron, and she's always here with us. And so, hello, Mother.
Hi, Grandma Blue.
And
We know she's watching.
we know she's watching.
We always check in with her
Yes.
after the program,
Yes,
and she's always so exciting and so excited. So
yes. And we are only like 9 days away
from the huge event,
from the huge birthday celebration that is coming her way.
the huge event is love.
The huge event is love.
Yes.
But we're going to be celebrating like it's what 1999, like they say.
Okay, now.
And so next week we'll be gathering together around this beautiful light, my mother, to celebrate her
Yes.
90th birthday. And I am so happy and grateful for her.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So we personally we have a niece that is celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday coming up for our niece Destiny. We love her
today.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's
We
right.
love her dearly. And then I had a soror, Sharon, who is another one of my dear friends, who celebrated a birthday on Sunday. So happy birthday to her as well. You just moved so
Yeah, and
fast through those.
I like to give a shout out to one of my golf buddies that celebrated a birthday
Okay,
this
who?
week.
Okay,
Uh, Wendell.
okay.
Happy birthday to my brother Wendell, and we send you much birthday love. Are we singing birthday song tonight?
We can sing the birthday song, but let me also say, this was Indigenous People Day was on Monday,
Okay,
and so we say happy celebration to all of
to
our
that community. Yes,
all the Native Americans.
yes.
So wanted to do all that. Okay, so you want to sing?
Oh, absolutely. I
All
always
right.
want to sing. I always
Oh,
want to celebrate.
okay, well then let's do that. Happy
Day
birthday to
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And that was happy anniversary as well.
Yes.
So if you're celebrating anything, we're celebrating
with
you.
you, absolutely.
Let's see. And Sheila another patron has jumped on. Sheila
Oh,
Johnson is with us.
yes.
Hello, Sheila.
Yeah, not only a patron, but she is
She's
a ram.
ram.
The Rams are in the house.
Rams are represented.
Yes. And so moving on quickly through our next segment, always like to reach out into the ether, the universe.
We are happy and grateful, right?
Yes.
Even though we're not going to get
Oh,
into.
haven't you felt my happiness and my gratitude since I've been sitting here?
Yes, sir.
I got up early this morning, like before the sun came up, like 6 o'clock.
All right.
And I have been in a state of gratitude ever since that time.
And I'm very happy.
And my day has gone just beautifully, just the way I planned it.
Okay. I'm very excited.
All right.
For that.
And so I am full of gratitude. That is my attitude tonight. And so if you are wanting to share something that you are happy and grateful for, feel free to share with us in the comment field.
Do. We
Yes.
want to allow,
Yes.
we want to offer
Yes.
our viewers and especially our patrons the opportunity to express their gratitude if there's something that they would like to.
Yes,
do.
We would never deny gratitude to be expressed.
Exactly.
And so if you haven't expressed it to yourself or anyone, if you like to do it right now, we'd love to oblige you. We love it.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And so as we move on into our Truly Life lesson for tonight, we want to, again, like I said, give more time to the content.
Yes, but before we start that, I want to go ahead and read a couple of the gratitudes. Dr. Keith, Dr. Jill is in the house. Dr. Jill's in the house, and she said, "Hi, enjoying and grateful for good times with my daughters." Oh, I know that's so special, Dr. Jill. No, that is. All right, and okay, here we go. Oh. All right, and then Bob and Carol say grateful for grace and peace.
All right.
We love that.
All right. Can I share a gratitude statement that
By all means.
that came fresh out of my mind? I wrote it this morning.
Yes.
Can I share it with the audience?
Yes, you may.
Okay. And this is what I wrote. And getting into practice of writing gratitude statements is a good way of being mindful and mindfulness.
Okay.
And so this morning, early, I wrote, "I am so happy and I'm so grateful now that my real identity is perfect and requires no modification. And my mind is being constantly transformed to work in harmony with my perfection."
Oh, wow. That is good.
Isn't that good?
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is all part of the, go ahead.
Sheila Johnson says she's grateful for the turmeric, lemon, cinnamon, honey tea that she is drinking right now.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. You have a combination of a number of things that are very, very good for the body.
Very good for the body.
Very good.
So Sheila definitely read the email that I sent out each week to our community that says, grab your favorite beverage and come sit for an hour of inspiration, transformation, and empowerment.
Wow. I'm going to read one more,
Go ahead.
okay? Naomi says, I'm grateful for my daughters, for them to call every morning at 6 a.m. from Connecticut, and the blessing I can say to them. That is lovely. Wow. I love it when we can connect with family. Doesn't matter where we are. That's one of the things that's great about technology. We can stay connected if we choose to.
Yes.
Outstanding. Thank you all for sharing those.
So we're going to move on to our inspiration encouragement quote for tonight, which comes from how you pronounce that?
Oh, you're gonna do that one since just sprung it on me. You go right ahead.
Her name is
Aya
Aya
Kima,
Kima.
I think.
Aya Kima. We give you credit where credit is due here. And so she shared this thought, and we want to share it with you guys. Mindfulness is a mental activity. It's a mental activity that in due course eliminates all suffering. Let me read that again.
Powerful.
Let me read that again.
Yes.
Mindfulness is a mental activity that in due course eliminates all suffering. And who would not want to eliminate all suffering? And that's Aya Kima. All right.
That's a good quote.
Would you like to share the other quote?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
So we get a double portion tonight.
Double portion.
Okay. So here's a quote that reads, to be attentive of what I am seeing, hearing, feeling, perceiving, and how I am responding to the thoughts that are arising in the mind is how I define mindfulness. That quote is by Oliver Blue.
All right. Thank you, dear.
Yes, thank you for sharing that with us.
See how calm I was tonight? See how I didn't jump the gun tonight?
I was ready. I was ready for you though.
Listen, I'm being mindful.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it.
I am being mindful.
Okay.
And so as we move into our lesson for tonight, we've been in this series. This is our third part to this series on the topic of mindfulness. And we have said some foundational things that, I don't know, do you want to share any of before we move through?
Sure, we can do that. I'm putting up the next little thing if you don't mind.
Okay, so why
don't you do that?
while she's doing that, just want to remind us that, what we see in common definitions, specifically Webster defines mindfulness as a quality or a state of being mindful. And then it is the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, one's emotions, or experiences on a moment-by-moment basis. We also have a definition that we shared from Oxford Languages, and it defines mindfulness as the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. It is a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations.
All right. Thank you for the reminder, the refresher of the definitions there,
Yes.
Oliver.
And we spent 2 weeks laying a foundation on the subject of mindfulness. And so we also said that we can easily agree that mindfulness has to do with the mind and its function, the mind and how it functions, or the purpose for the mind. We also said that the mind is an activating agent of thought, supplying what?
Creative energy.
It supplies creative energy. We also said that somehow the mind appears to be in two parts, and that each part has a voice. And we said that our choice
Our ability to choose.
Our ability to choose is our freedom, which voice that we what not only hear or but respond to or accept as truth to us.
Yes. So we all have the ability to choose.
All have the ability to choose. And so tonight we're going to move a little more into details of answering the questions that we raised, when we first started this series, when we asked the question, where is the mind? Is it form or is it invisible? Is it in the brain? It said, when you ask people about the mind, they normally point towards which area of their body?
Towards their head.
Towards the head. So
Yes.
giving the indication that there's a belief that the mind is within our head, or is it called the cranium?
The whole thing is called the cranium.
The whole
Yes.
thing is called the
Yes.
cranium.
Yes.
I always bring these scientific terms up because my wife is a scientist. She's biology, she's anatomy and physiology. She studied all these things, and I like to sometimes engage her in these things that I don't really know much about. And so
Okay.
it's the cranium, right?
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we
okay,
normally
it's
point
up in the head.
we normally point
It's
towards the head area
Okay.
when you
thank
ask someone where's the mind, you know. And we also said that it is the element of our. We're also going to look at the fact that it's the element of our being. Or we said this last week that the mind is an aspect of who we are that has access to both the divine part of us and to the perceptual part of us, or the world of perception.
Hello, Brenda, and I agree with you.
What did Brenda say?
She just gave a big smiley face.
Oh, is Brenda on?
Yes, Brenda.
Hello,
is
Brenda.
on. Yes,
All right.
That's why I put her up there. Hello, Brenda. We're so glad you're with us.
Yes.
Another one of our Canadian family
Yes.
friends.
Yes. We're
Okay.
gonna be in the room with Brenda in Virginia here shortly.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
Yes.
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 All right.
The invitation has gone out.
Yes.
Yes. And so, again, this is very important that we said that it is the part of aspect of our being that has access to both the divine and to
The
the perceptual world, which is the physical world. And we access both through that agent we call the mind.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's see if we can answer some of these questions, or at least have some conversations around them.
Okay.
And so I want to start out by saying, you want to say this? You want to share this first point?
Okay. So no one has ever seen the mind.
If anyone would go to their medical doctor and say, I'm having some problems with my mind, can you take an x-ray of it? Can you take it out and overhaul it?
Well, so the doctor cannot take an x-ray of the mind. What the doctor would do would be to take an x-ray of the brain to see if there is something that's going on. But we're not addressing this topic from a medical point of view.
No, we're not.
We're addressing this topic from a transformational
point of
view.
And so no one has ever
Seen the mind.
No one's ever seen the mind. Most of us were taught that the mind is a function within the brain, right?
Yes.
That was my early understanding.
Yes.
Or that the mind and the brain are the same.
Yes.
But however, without an image, where there is when we don't have an image of something, then it has the tendency to create confusion. For example, if I said refrigerator, all of us have an image of what a refrigerator is, correct?
Even though a refrigerator is different in its aspects, the way that it's built, the size,
forms. Right?
In different places, we still would all have an image of
some idea
of a refrigerator. Right. That's right.
If I said strawberry, all of us, most of us, have an image of a strawberry.
And this is because we've been taught to see in pictures.
We've been taught to
Yeah.
see in pictures. That's one way that we operate in the perceptual
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
And so having those images gives us what? An idea, and it eliminates confusion.
Yes.
Because if I would,
It helps with clarity.
it helps with clarity.
Yes.
Because if Yolanda say, Oliver, would you go downstairs, look in the fridge,
And bring me
a
blueberries.
blueberries? And if I went downstairs and got a, what else we got down there?
Pineapple,
And brought you pineapples back.
strawberries,
Yeah.
apples.
She would say
oranges,
she would think
lemons.
that I was confused.
So the funny thing is, our grandson was with us this past weekend. Oh, what a glorious time it was. I wanted him to use his words, and he used a lot of his words. He used some of his words over and over and over again. I don't want that. I don't like it. No, which was his dad's favorite word, but his dad sang it. You know, it was no, and it was drawn out. So, and he likes to watch cars. So he was playing, and he was like, "That's my daddy truck. That's my daddy truck." And then he said, and then he went to my car, and he said, "That's my cars." I said, "That's my car." He said, "No, that's my cars. That's my cars." So he was just playing. He kept saying that my car was his cars, which was so funny. But the other game that he was playing was he was eating blueberries, and he kept saying, "This is strawberries." And I was like, that's not strawberries, because we had strawberries. And I said, "What color is?" He said, "This is red." And he's smiling because he knows. I said, "What color is this?" And he said, "It's blue, but today it's red." So he was just playing. He was having himself a good time.
Yes.
And boy, we had a good time.
Yes, yes. And so having an image, it eliminates confusion.
Yes, sir. So even if my grandson is saying that the blueberry is a strawberry, I clearly had the image of what a strawberry
Of
was.
what a strawberry was.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was just playing.
Yes.
Yes.
And so it's important that we have that. And when we don't have it, it's confusion. So therefore, like in the field or in the teaching about the mind, or in the understanding about the mind from a global perspective, and what we learn collectively, for the most part, there's a lot of confusion about it.
Yeah.
Or a lot of different views about it, because why? We have no image of it. We have no image. Where there's no image, like I said, it creates confusion. And so it's important, because really our life and all the experiences in our life really is about our marvelous mind.
Yes.
Because the mind is the most powerful tool on this planet.
Wow.
It's the most powerful tool on this planet.
Can you guys type that in the chat? Our marvelous mind.
Our marvelous mind. Our
Our
life is about the marvelous mind.
Marvelous mind.
Yes. Because the mind is a marvelous thing, as we will see as we get into it. But where there is no image of it, where there's no clarity around it, there's confusion.
Yes.
Our marvelous mind.
Our
Yes.
marvelous mind.
It's all about your marvelous mind. It's all about the mind. And so it is the most powerful tool on earth, contrary to what man would make out to think, that that there are other things that man has created that is more powerful than the mind, not even recognizing that it is the mind that brought forth the specialized knowledge and the wisdom to order to make the thing itself.
Yes.
It came through the infinite intelligence that is within our mind.
Yes.
And so the body is the second most powerful tool on earth, because it's controlled by the mind. The body is neutral, wholly neutral. It gets its instructions. It gets its direction. It takes its instructions from the mind.
Yes.
And so that makes the body the second most important too, because just think about it. You can build the most awesome computer, but until a body sits in front of that computer and gives it some commands, all its capacity is for naught.
It's
And
just sitting there.
right. So it
Yeah.
takes the combination of a mind and body in a world of a three-dimensional world. When I say three-dimensional, I'm talking about the world of form, the world of formlessness, and the world of
Form, formlessness, and what?
well, let me say it this way: spirit, soul, and body.
Okay.
That's 3D. Okay.
Okay.
And so, but where is it? We still have not answered the question. And you were talking about our grandson and how just open he is to life.
Yes.
And all of us come through that stage of life where we all started as infants,
Yes.
infants,
And
infants. And so as an infant, our mind was wide open to be programmed by our environment because we didn't know, we didn't have any standard, we didn't have any what thing to give us a determination of whether something is true or false, or whether to accept it or reject it. Well, it was good or bad, right? So as an infant, we're all have an open mind, and we're just kind of programmed by our environment.
well, so we've had you and I have had this conversation many, many times. And I am of the understanding that we do not come here as infants blank.
I didn't say blank.
And that we are not
Uh,
just being because we've been being programmed in utero, because we
well,
can hear that an infant can
you
you know,
back.
you
You're
can
just you're
hear.
backing up the process. Yeah, it starts there. It
Yeah.
really starts. It
But
starts.
it
Yeah,
starts from
it starts
from
within.
where we
It's,
come, because
it starts within the womb. Yes.
because remember what we have been teaching here is the principle of the seed, and every seed produces after its own kind. So if that is the case, then that means that when that infant comes here, that infant has the full capacity to be everything, because that's already in them.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, it's programmed in its DNA.
Yes.
So yes, we do spend some time conditioning and training and stimulating
And they're
all of that.
influenced by their
Yeah.
environment.
Yes, they
Yes.
are.
So, just for
The
the
sake of this teaching.
the sake of this teaching,
Okay.
we're going to introduce to you an image just for illustration purposes only, and to help us all get clarity around where is the mind, what is the mind, how it works, how it functions. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to show a series of
Oh.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't know we could do that.
yeah. As long as we give the credit, we're going to show a series of images that were produced by Thurman Fleet, and and it was Thurman Fleet who got a revelation on how to create this image to help explain how the mind works, how it functions, because the mind ultimately is not in the brain. It is not a form, but it's actually a formless entity.
Okay.
It's a formless entity. That means that it's beyond time, it is beyond space, but it operates in time and space. And so we're gonna share a couple of graphs here that's gonna help us to explain this. And so let me get to that. So just for illustration purposes,
All right.
just for illustration purposes, picture this where you see the top part of this illustration is just a what? It's just a circle. And then you take the circle and you draw a line down the center of the circle. And then what we want to show next is this is for illustration purposes only. Just imagine that the top part of the circle is what we call the conscious mind. And the bottom portion of the circle is what we call this what? Subconscious mind.
Okay.
And this is for illustration only so that we can have an image, so we can eliminate the confusion of what we're dealing with here when we're talking about the mind itself. And note that all of us have access to the one mind. Now, because we are seemingly in these separated bodies, it appears that we all have what? Individual minds, or what we call a private mind. But in reality, there are no individual or private minds. And so all the things that we think that are private, these are the thoughts that arise in everyone's mind. No thought is private.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have, like we said, remember we said that the mind has access to the divine, to the world of divine, as well as to the world of perception, or the world of time and space. And so the top part, you take this image, the top part being the conscious mind, and the bottom part being the subconscious mind. And then the bottom part there represents our body. But we're doing a
So
lesson.
the lower part.
The lower
is
part you see there is
in the schematic.
in the
yes.
schematic represents the body.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that being connected, because remember what we said, that the body is neutral, but it takes its
Instructions.
its stimulation,
Inspiration.
from the mind.
Yes.
And so the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the seat of all intellect. This is the part of the mind where the intellect operates. And when we say the intellect, we're talking about the thinking part of the mind, or we call it the thinking mind.
It's where thoughts arise and are formed.
It's where our thoughts arise and where our thoughts are formed. And it's what dominates our present awareness.
Yes.
This is where we spend most of our time, being conscious of what is present. Okay. And so it occupies most of our thinking.
Okay.
It occupies most of our activity. And so it is where all education and information is stored.
That's right.
The conscious mind. Information that we gather on a day-by-day basis, what we learn in our educational systems, all that, information dump, I called it.
Yes.
That's where it was housed, is housed in our conscious mind, where we have the capacity to remember or to memorize. Remember, we had to memorize the information, right? And then give it back in the form of answers to on a test.
Yes.
Well, all this was happening in our conscious part of our minds.
So it's in the conscious part of the mind where we can also accept and reject thoughts and ideas.
I'll say that again.
Our conscious mind is where we accept or reject thoughts and ideas.
Right. So this is the part of our minds where we're able to, again, like Yolanda just said, embrace something as our very own, accept it, right? This is where attachments happen. It's like in a relationship, or like if you're walking out and you see someone and for some reason it resonates with you, or they resonate with you, and you want to attach with them. That attachment happens in the conscious part of our mind. But we also have the ability to not resonate with certain things or certain people. But all this happens in our conscious mind.
Yes.
Also, let me change the slide here. Okay. So you also will notice that at the top of this schematic, there are 5, what do you call those, tentacles?
Okay.
You see the
Antenna.
you see the 5 antennas at the top?
Yeah.
Those 5 antennas represent our 5 physical senses.
Yes.
Okay. That, notice now, the conscious mind takes information from what? Our ability to
See,
see, to taste,
to hear,
to touch,
and to smell.
and to smell.
Yeah.
So that information that is coming from those senses comes through our conscious mind.
Yes.
Okay. And and again, the conscious mind is where thoughts arise. The conscious mind is where we can uh, take the energy force that is coming into the mind. Get a picture of this. Just imagine that the top part of that circle was open, and there is a flow of energy that comes into the conscious mind. It's called life. We're always having a flow of energy coming into us. The mind is like a energetic field.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and that energy comes in, and it comes in as ideas, it comes in as thoughts. That's why you notice when you first wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that happens? The first thing that happens, I may be the only one, but the first thing that happens when I wake up in the morning is I start noticing thoughts that are arising.
Okay.
I notice thoughts that are rising in my mind. I mean, it immediately goes to work. Whether it's thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, thoughts about what my schedule is today, what I got to do, what I can't do. I mean, just all kinds of thoughts. They just starts. Peep, the button get turned on when you wake up.
So, I'm just wondering, does this mean that the last thing that you are aware of is the thoughts in your mind before you fall asleep?
It can influence. No, basically, every experience that we have ever had, because of memory, has the ability to read what presents itself as a thought in our mind.
Yes.
That's why there is this sometimes this propensity to what, be focused on thoughts of the past
Yes.
or thoughts of the future. I don't know how you can think about the future, because the future is it doesn't exist. And so, how are we doing on time, honey?
You're good, sweetie.
We're
You're
going
good.
good?
You're good.
Okay.
I have it right there for you.
Okay, so so this energy comes in, called life, and it is just energy, and it forms thoughts in our mind, or it forms ideas in our mind, and it's in our conscious mind. And so, what's also in the conscious mind is what we call our six intellectual faculties. We have
Yes.
all of us come with intellectual faculties within this realm of the mind. And these six faculties are gifts that are very helpful for us. And when I mention them, you'll understand why they are. And so the first three are imagination, intuition, and reason.
Mm-hmm.
Our ability to imagine, our ability to be intuitive,
Mm-hmm.
and our ability to reason based on the what information that's coming into us, the thoughts that are arising with us.
Mm-hmm.
And the last three are
Will, memory, and perception.
and so all of us know that we have the ability to hold a thought. That's our will. We have, some of us, we describe some of us or some of our characteristics as strong will. you know, he's strong will, she's strong will. What meaning? What they hold an idea very strongly.
Yes.
And then we have the ability to memorize
Yes.
anything that we've ever experienced. It is housed in our conscious mind and can be recalled when we need it.
And can be triggered to
And
be
can be
recalled as
triggered to recall
As
when
well.
we
Yeah.
least expect it.
well. Yeah, it can.
And then finally, the ability to perceive,
Yes.
our perception. Perception basically means our ability to interpret
Yes.
what our five physical senses are telling us.
Yes.
Okay? So you see that within the conscious mind, which is an important part of the mind, these abilities, these mental faculties, its connections to the five physical senses, all of these things represent our life. And this
Mhm.
is where we live our life through these activities that happen within our minds. And that's why the mind is a busy place.
The mind is a busy place.
And so our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions is what makes up our personality, which we call our attitude. So how we manage our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions is what we call attitude. If you
Yes.
had
That's
not,
what
if it, if
determines
it,
our attitude.
right,
Yes.
if it has never been explained to you that way, like
Yes.
people will say, "Well, you need to have a better attitude." What do you mean? What's wrong with my attitude? Well, I don't even know what my attitude is. Well, it's a combination of our thoughts, our feelings, which eventually what
Become our
it
actions.
becomes our
Yeah.
actions,
So our
which are
thoughts,
expressed where through the
body,
bodies.
our thoughts and our feelings um actually influence our actions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Our thoughts and feelings influence our actions.
Right. And so, as we said earlier, the body takes its
Cues, directions,
directions,
instructions
instructions from the mind,
from the mind.
and it manifests it in the actions that we take.
So, when information is impressed with repetition and emotion, it is passed to the subconscious mind. And here we go. This is the fun part. Here we
Yeah.
go.
So when we talk about now, we got everyone should have a clear understanding
Everyone should
of
have an
an
image.
image of what the
The
conscious,
conscious
mind.
mind.
And
Yes.
so now we want to talk about the subconscious mind, which
Okay.
is the bottom part of the schematic here.
Yes.
The
The bottom
subconscious
part of the big
of the big
circle.
of the big circle.
Okay.
So the subconscious mind, which there's been a lot of study done on it
Yes.
over the years, and the subconscious mind is basically called the emotional mind.
Yes.
It is the part of our mind where
The feelings.
our feelings play a huge role.
Yes.
Our experience plays a huge role. It's a part of our mind where what's that runs down the back of our
spinal cord.
spinal cord, our
You mean
nervous
the
system.
nervous system.
Our
Okay.
nervous system, right,
Mhm.
plays a very important role in the subconscious mind. And so the subconscious mind is what we call the emotional mind. It works primarily in feelings, which in transformation we call what? The feeling tone. Okay, right?
Okay.
Remember, we talked about the feeling tone when we were talking about creating a blueprint for your life and then you becoming a match for that blueprint. Remember, we said you have to become a match for the dream or the goal or the vision that you have for your life. You have to get into the feeling tone of it.
Meaning that you, in order for us to get to the point of taking our ideas and our imagination that we've written down and taking that to a point of where it actually starts to become a manifested thing, we have to have emotion involved.
We
with
have
that.
to have emotion.
We have to make certain that we have an emotional match. So the energy, there has to be an energy.
There has to be an energy
involved so that we actually get to the actions,
right,
so that we can actually begin
right,
to live
because
out that
it's
life.
that energy
Yeah.
that puts us on the frequency of
Yes.
where we want to be.
Yes.
And so, like I said, without an image, there's a lot of confusion. I can remember in my growing up that people talked about emotions as being negative. But our emotions are actually given to us. Our feelings and our emotion has been given to us as an aid, right? As a way of bringing about an experience in our life that we so desire. So emotions and feelings were given to us as a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay. So we want to make certain that we're not. We want to make certain that we're clear. So because we talked about our 5 physical senses, and in that one of those is feeling. But
Yes.
we're not talking about that touch. We're not talking about
the physical touch.
We're talking about the emotional part that we have that has been labeled
Right.
feelings for a very long time. So we're talking
Absolutely.
about that's that part. So let's finish this before we get into all of
Okay.
the other stuff.
And
Okay.
so it works primarily in feelings,
This is the subconscious
the
mind now.
subconscious mind, and in what we call feeling tone. It's very impersonal.
Yes.
The subconscious mind is very impersonal, meaning it only understands one. The conscious mind only understands that there is one. And so it accepts whatever is impressed in the conscious mind.
So it accepts all of what is impressed upon it through repetition and emotion.
Absolutely.
So whatever it is that we're putting in that subconscious mind through repetition with emotion
and in motion.
The subconscious mind, because it only understands, it only recognizes one, it accepts all of
It
that.
accepts all of it. Remember, the conscious mind has the capacity to accept or reject
That's right.
information or thoughts. The subconscious mind does not.
Accepts all.
Right. But the only way that we get ideas or thoughts into the subconscious mind is through becoming emotionally involved with the thoughts and the ideas
Repeatedly.
repeatedly.
So it's the repetition and the emotion that actually
Right.
gets the
Right. But there is another way that it gets there, and it's through what we call trauma or dramatic situation.
well, that would be
Emotionally involved.
emotionally charged.
So
Yeah.
just think about it. The things that we are emotionally involved in or charged with, those are the things that get down into the subconscious part of us.
Okay, so don't teach that yet. Let's
Okay.
keep going before we get to that part, because
Right.
you're ready to jump into
Right.
that.
And
Right.
so it's where our paradigms reside. The subconscious mind is where our paradigms are held, not in our conscious mind. We're not conscious in paradigms. Remember, we said that paradigms are basically habits,
Paradigms are thoughts,
ideas,
that can become habits, that determine it's the driving force behind the decisions
that
we
we're
make.
making.
It's
Right.
and the actions that we
And
take.
so these thoughts and these ideas, at some point, we got emotionally involved with them. That's how they got into our subconscious.
Yes.
And so they form what we called, and we talk about here, paradigms. And so paradigms are good. We have some paradigms that serve us well, and then there's some paradigms that are habits, like I say, that does not serve us well, and we know what they are.
Yes.
And so to recognize them and to be willing to shift, change, or reconstruct them is what transformation is all about.
Yes.
It's what transformation is all about. Because remember, it is the emotional mind that really sends the signals to the body.
Mhm.
And the body is acting on what's in our subconscious, not necessarily what's on the conscious level, but our decisions is mostly influenced by what's in our subconscious. And therein lies our paradigms. That is also where our self-image is reside. The way we see ourselves, the way we see the world, is mostly influenced by the image that we have of ourselves, which is in our subconscious part of our minds, which we're not aware of it, but that's what's running the show.
Yes.
That's why it's so important that we understand the makeup of the mind and how it works, where our emotions and feelings come into play, where our thoughts and our ideas come into play, where our ability to imagine, our ability to where are our list, babes?
Right here, sweetheart.
Our ability
Here
to,
you go.
yes, where our ability to imagine, where's our 5, 6? Yeah, our ability to be intuitive, to reason with the information that we're engaged in, to have a will and able to hold an idea or a thought in mind, our ability to remember and to bring to remembrance that which we need when it's needed. And finally, our ability to perceive that which is outside of us based on the information that we are receiving within our conscious
So I
mind.
want to make certain that we have a clear
Clear it up for me,
image
baby.
and clarity about paradigms. Okay. So a definition for paradigm is a standard, perspective, or set of ideas that can become habits. Okay. A paradigm is a way of looking at something which drives the way we make our decisions.
Yes, it is what basically it's like an operating system.
Yes.
Just like in your house, there's a what thermostat,
Yes.
and you set this thermostat at a certain setting, and when the air in the room deviates from that setting, the thermostat kicks in
Automatically. Because it's programmed that way.
because it's programmed that
Yeah,
way, and
yeah.
it brings the temperature in the house back to the what set point.
Yes.
The 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 paradigm works the same way. It's
Yes.
it's a cybernetic system, just like the airplane with its automatic pilot on it, or the thermostat in your house.
Mhm.
This is why we have said many times, you can't outperform your paradigms, but you can change them.
Yes.
Because what happens is we make a decision that is outside of our paradigm. We make a decision to grow, right?
Yes.
Or to create something different, or to be different, or to expand. And that decision is outside of what? The set point of our paradigms. And when we make that decision, the paradigm rises up and say, we can't do this. We can't, see what I'm saying? So the paradigm pulls us back to the set point to keep us from what? Growing and moving forward. So that's why paradigms need to be recognized, and we need to know that they can be what? Paradigms can be shifted. They can be replaced. It's like an operating system.
Mhm.
In most cases, we develop paradigms that don't serve our what? Best interests. And so we need to know that.
And what I think is important is for us to understand that we bargain, we hold ourselves hostage.
We'll fight for
we fight for
that which is sabotaging
those paradigms, and that may be the very thing that is keeping us from
achieving
living,
life.
Living the focused, purposed, intentional life
Yes.
that we would love to live.
Yes.
So, so understanding how this works can be a very freeing a very freeing exercise.
This image
practice.
Image helps you now understand how and why and where when we talk about the mind and how it's functioning.
Yes.
Because all of us have to come to grips with that our life is being lived through our thinking, through our minds. And that's why we talked about earlier that the mind has to be what? Transformed. That's why we teach transformation. It's all about transforming the mind. It says transformation comes through what? The renewing of the mind.
Yes.
That means bringing the mind, bringing us into the awareness of the function of it, the blessing of it. Life is lived through it. We need to know these things, and we need to know that it's our responsibility to open ourselves up to learn these things. Just think about if we knew this when we were if we were taught this in the educational system.
Yeah.
This is not taught in the educational system.
But that's okay because we're here.
But that's why we're here. And so I know we shared a lot tonight. This is kind of a complete schematic of what we just talked about.
Yes.
Where again you can kind of see how all of this works. And then next week we may get into a little bit of how now the body being the place that we take action based on what the mind is signaling to us.
Yes.
And that those actions is what determines the experience we have in life.
Yes.
The results that we get in life. And so the body is neutral, but the body is designed as a healthy, serviceable instrument to help us to have the great experience that we so desire.
Yes.
And so we're going to get in a little bit more of that on our next episode. or our next episode in the next series. We're not finished with this talk. We're going to continue next week talking about the mind, and but hopefully, and I know this how helpful this was to me. Once I learned this, it really helped me to now be proactive about renewing my mind.
Well,
It helped me to be.
it actually it so, and I'm not speaking for you,
Mm.
but it certainly helps us to understand that we're not a victim,
We're not a
and that
victim.
we hold all of the ability and capacity to be able to change anything. So, so this is another one of those things that we're just incredibly excited about, and that's our ability to choose.
Our ability to
Because
choose.
our ability to choose means that, if we've made a choice about something that doesn't work for us, or we've had an experience that we, don't enjoy, or that is no longer serving us, if we made that choice, we can make
We can
another
choose
choice
again, and that
Yes.
choice comes through our mindfulness,
Yes.
and that's why we also encourage in our teachings that we use that ability to notice our awareness, to notice what we're noticing,
Notice what
because
we're
it is through
noticing.
our noticing, it is through our awareness that we come to understand that there is something that I may not know, that if I knew, things would be
Would
totally
be
different.
different,
And this
yeah.
is some of that information that when we get it, it can help change our life. And so we're going to go
No.
ahead and remove that.
Mhm.
All
There we
right. Well, this
go.
was like going to school tonight, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
but that was good.
But it was good.
And Lisa Renee Nelson, we see that you're watching, and we say thank you so very much for
All
joining
right.
us.
All right. Shout out to Lisa.
Shout out to
Thank you
Lisa.
for being with us tonight.
Yes.
Well, honey, we're going to go ahead and close out.
Wow.
This was, like I said, tonight was like going back to school, real learning, right?
I, for me, this is exciting.
This is exciting. Transformation is all about staying on our growing edge.
Yes.
And would you like to? I'm gonna pause for a minute so that you can clear the screen up there. Get current with your comment screens.
Okay. Oh, because I was doing something else. Hello, my dear sister. She said, "Greetings, my beautiful sister and brother. I thoroughly enjoyed this session. I love you all. I love y'all. We love you. You
Hello,
made my
Pearl.
day." And of course, Bob and Carol. Great info tonight, which we love. And Carol, of course, we understand that we speak many languages.
Yes,
So
yes, we speak 7 languages too, Carol. You can do that. You can create words.
you can create words.
Your
as
creative
well.
ability. You can use your imagination. That's one of your 6 faculties, right? Wow,
Wow,
wow.
that was good.
So thank you so
This
much.
is a very interesting topic to me, just because I know that a lot of the confusion, a lot of the pain and suffering that we see people are experiencing is a result of them being stuck, and they don't know what to do. What are you looking for, sweetheart?
Can you go back to the quote by Ian? It's right there, the color.
Yes,
You just said it. Now read that quote again.
So that would be tonight's mindfulness. She said, mindfulness is a mental activity that in due course eliminates all suffering. All suffering.
Yes.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about this. Let's see. Here's a question. So our emotions are so important to choosing our joy for our lives. So we'll talk about this. Brenda, we'll make certain that we talk about this, because the thing is, our emotions are given to us as a tool.
As a signal.
It's a tool to help us. It's not supposed to be the driving or demanding force.
Right.
It's not. So our emotions are not supposed. They are to serve us.
Right. It's like a guardrail.
Yes.
It's like an indicator.
It is
to let us know that something is out of what? Out of harmony.
Yes. That's what our indicator is a really good word for that.
Right.
For what our emotion, the function of our emotions are an indicator. It is to let us know, okay, watch out. This might be dangerous, or don't go there, or You know, we are we humans. You know, we're one of the only species that when we get that sensation
Yes.
in our body that tells us that there is something dangerous, instead of us going in a different direction to avoid that, we go and explore.
We go towards it. Well,
Animals are like, okay,
right.
let me preserve
They
myself.
sense something and they
And
go,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And we have this curiosity with us. Yeah.
Wow.
And
But
so you're to just to speak one response to that, Brenda, your emotions were never given to us to guide us.
no.
That's not what they're for.
Yes.
They're to serve us.
I want to make certain that I get
Our
this.
entire that entire schematic image that we showed you tonight. We showed it to you in a form of an image so you could get clarity on it, and so that you can understand that these are all tools that come with the human experience.
Yeah.
And they are here to as a gift to us,
Yes.
so that we can transcend the limitations of this world, so we can transcend uh, uh, the negativity of this world,
Yeah.
by using the conscious, as well as we use the conscious mind to accept what is alignment with who we know we truly are.
Yes.
And we, through repetition, we impress that into the subconscious.
That's right.
Once it gets into the subconscious is going to accept it.
That's right.
The subconscious is like the garden. You can throw any kind of seed in the garden and it's going to grow, because it only knows one thing: to grow what's put in it.
Yes.
And so whatever gets to our subconscious mind, it grows. That's why we said earlier that traumatic events, or that we get emotionally involved with, whatever we get emotionally involved with, gets to the subconscious mind.
Yes.
And it will manifest
So
through the body.
that is what's important, is to understand the emotion that those strong emotions, whether they're what we would call positive or negative, that is what actually is driving those things into our subconsciousness. And so to answer your question, what's important for choosing joy in our lives is our awareness.
Right.
Awareness of who we truly are.
Right.
Because joy is who we are.
Right.
That's a gift that was given to us.
Right.
So we can choose to live in that gift,
In that joy.
or
That's
we
right.
choose not to.
Right.
So so the important thing for where our joy is concerned is our awareness.
Right. Right. And so without the knowledge of this,
Yeah.
there's confusion.
Yeah.
And so we take our emotions, our feelings, and we take a false idea about ourselves, and we get emotionally involved with it, like fear.
Yes.
And it gets into our subconscious, and that's what we manifest. We take an idea like scarcity or lack or sickness
Or hate. Or judgment. Or
inequality, or
Yeah.
inequality,
Yeah.
or superiority. And we take those ideas and we get emotionally involved with them, which you see all the emotion that's taking place in the world right now over certain issues. And it gets in the subconscious mind of the human being. And it manifests. Now we've taken our emotions in a negative idea, which is not true. And now we've got emotionally involved with it, and now it shows up in our body.
Yeah.
And a lot of time when it shows up in the body, it shows up in the body in a way that is not in our best interest. It's not in our best interest. And so we can get deeper and deeper into that, but not tonight. Our time is up. I know this is.
Listen, so we're really excited, because this is what truly
Live is all about.
Is about. It
Right.
is to help others, to help us to gain clarity about our true self.
The real you.
And when we understand and accept who we truly are
In our nature, which is what? Which is love.
Yes. And we choose to live there, then that is what affects not just our world, but it affects those that are around us too.
Absolutely.
So it is very important that we come to the awareness of who we truly are.
Absolutely.
Come to the awareness of who our true
Absolutely.
self is.
So that our lives
Yeah.
can be lived by design and not by default.
That's right.
When we don't understand, we live by default, because we have no understanding. We have no image.
But
There's confusion.
But we can live with intention.
Right, which is by design.
We can live with intention
so-
and with purpose.
So when we get understanding, then we design a life that we would love.
we can create that which we would love.
And we understand how we had those experiences. And now we know how to have a different experience.
That's right.
By taking and properly using our renewed mind,
Yes.
our expanded awareness, our expanded consciousness, now to what? Now to be the best expression of the love that we share.
Yes.
And that's where we're going with this.
Wow.
The love that we
Listen,
share, the love that we are.
we could keep going, but we're not going to do this because we're over our time.
Yes, way over.
So thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
For being with us. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate you being here. We like to end each program with a blessing. We use the Dalai Lama's loving kindness meditation to do that. So we bless all of you who have joined with us, and we bless those that you hold dear in your heart.
So may you be truly happy.
May you live in peace.
May you live in love.
May you know the power of forgiveness.
And may you live in the recognition that your life has deep meaning and good purpose.
That's the Dalai Lama. And Oliver and I add, may you live in the awareness of who you truly are. We extend this blessing to every being on the planet. And so it is.
And so it is. All right, honey.
Ah, that was good.
That was good. Well, anyway, thank you so much. We'll see you next time, next episode, Truly Live. And until then, my name is Oliver.
I'm Yolanda.
And we are the OK Blues.
I know I have not always been what you want me to be. Even at times I pushed your sweet love away, but you stay right here beside me, never letting me go. Now I know the love I needed was right here